Hi guys, welcome to Claudine Etienne Against Colorism. I am here because I got a letter from President Trump. Well, not necessarily from him, but regarding his orders, his decree. Okay, so I know that a lot of people are worried about government employees, federal employees, not government. If you work for the state, you don't get this letter because I work both for the state of Florida and for the feds. So it's a federal order. So it says, please note that because basically they call it the deferred resignation program. So they have a program that they started. All right. It says during the first week of his administration, President Trump issued a number of directives concerning the federal workforce. So I'm part of that federal workforce. Thank you, Jesus, that I am part of that federal workforce. I did not expect that I would be, but God is good and God opens ways in ways you may not know. Okay, so it says among these directives, the president required that employees return to in-person work. So it seems as if his concern is more about people who have been working from home since COVID-19, since 2020. A lot of people were allowed and they signed to be able to work from home. So that's interesting because I guess it was from the beginning of Biden taking office. Well, prior to Biden taking office, basically it was on his presidency that he was urged to do something about COVID-19, and many people were allowed to go home. So he comes back into office where people are still working from home, because he left officially in 2021. So people were working from home since March, since this time in 2020. So that was 5 years ago. So imagine having this 5 year of jubilee. Me, I worked from home for almost a year, but not quite, because I was allowed to, from my government job at the time, I was working for the state only. I was given leave on March 18, I believe, of 2020, and I had the option of returning back to work physically on October 5th of 2020, and I chose to go back to work physically. Some teachers stayed that year out, which was good for them. They had families and children, and they were able to work among their family and children. So that means that those teachers had a year, because everybody had to return back to work as of 2022 August. So those teachers who took the year of 2021 to 2022, no 2020 to 2021. So they had a year and some months, like I guess a year and 9 months off. But me, I ended up going back to work in October 5th, 2020. Okay, 2020. I did not 2021, 2020. Still, it was Trump's presidency. I did go back to work. Biden took over in 2021. And some teachers were still out. They came back the following academic year, which was in August of 2021. So now that's for teaching, but on other jobs, like I do work for the feds, and a lot of people don't need to be in the office to be able to do their jobs, because all they need is a computer to be able to remotely get access to the information that they need in order to service us. So they have had a beautiful 5 years of jubilee, and basically Trump is telling them that they need to come back to the physical office. That's what this letter seems to sound like to me, but but it's pretty interesting. So anyways, it says, so among those directives, the president required that employees return to in-person work. In addition to that, restored accountability for employees who have policy-making authority. That's not me. I guess that's the lawyers and the politicians. And I guess maybe when he came back into office, he must have found that it was very difficult to find everybody that he needed there, that people were remote. So I am, for me it sounds so funny, oh my God, but when you look at it, you have to realize that what he left and what he came back to. And restored accountability for senior career executives, and reformed the federal hiring process to focus on merit. So I don't know what it was focusing on prior to merit, because I went through quite a process. I mean, I applied, I believe, in November of 2021, and I got offered a job in March of 2022 because so many people left to get better paying jobs. But I'm not saying that the feds don't pay well. For me, the feds pay well compared to teaching, compared to the state. Believe me, the feds pay a lot better than the state of Florida. Way better. But anyway, to continue. As a result of the above orders, the reform of the federal workforce will be significant. The reformed federal workforce will be built around 4 pillars, and these pillars include return. Again, that's like number 1, so you could see the urgency, why he did that. It sounds funny because all of us got the message, but I mean, I guess how can he relay it? We know, I mean, if you are like working from home, I think, you would really feel it. Me, my position does not require, I cannot work from home. And so number 1, the first pillar is return to office. Second pillar is performance culture. Now that's the one that I'm about to whatever, but still I think that also deals with returning to work, but I want to come back to this. Number 3, more streamlined and flexible workforce. And number 4, enhanced standards of conduct. So now I'm going to look at the ones that are of most interest to me as far as the pillars. So, but before I look at the pillars, it says each of the pillars outlined above will be pursued in accordance with applicable law, consistent with your agency's policies, and to the extent permitted under relevant collective bargaining agreements. That is the unions. Okay, so now it says if you choose to remain in your current position. So these were the pillars that accounted for if you don't want to follow, you may choose to resign. But I guess other people could say, hey, I want to do this one because anyway, it says if you choose to remain in your current position, we thank you for your renewed focus on serving the American people to the best of your abilities, and look forward to working together as part of an improved federal workforce. At this time, we cannot give you full assurance regarding the certainty of your position or agency, but should your position be eliminated, you will be treated with dignity and will be afforded the protections in place for such positions. All right, so this is where there's a threat to any position, right? If we choose to stay and work. If you choose not to continue in your current role in the federal workforce, we thank you for your service to your country and to your country, and you will be provided with a dignified, fair departure from the federal government utilizing a deferred resignment program. This program begins effective January 28th and is available to all federal employees until February 6th. That's today. If you resign under this program, you will retain all pay and benefits regardless of your daily workload and will be exempted from all applicable in-person work requirements until February 30th, 2025. That's 9 months from now, I think. No, it's not 9 months from now. It's like 8 months, 7 or 8 months. Or earlier. If you choose to accelerate your resignation for any reason. The details of this separation plan can be found below. And what are the details include? They even wrote the separation plan for us, because, and one of the things is that he calls us lazy. I mean, he didn't say use the term lazy like I am Mara. He's calling us the lazy gang. So I guess President Trump is firing the lazy gang. Anyways, so, but he used work productivity. That was the terms that he used in order to say that, like, we're not productive enough as federal employees. So, well, one thing I have to give him credit for is that he did not discriminate. He sent this categorically to every single federal employee. But the thing is, of course, you are assuming that federal employees are lazy and not productive. So that's the thing. And the thing is, guys, I work so hard. I work very, very, very hard. And I heard he sent Elon Musk. I didn't vote for Elon Musk. I vote for Donald Trump. But anyway, he sent Elon Musk to the VA back down in Washington D.C. and he was looking around. So I don't know what's going down with the department that I work in for the hospital, but we'll have to wait and see how he's going to treat the veterans. In the past, he's been highly acclaimed for treating the veterans with dignity and very well. So we'll see if he's going to downsize the hospitals that's giving the treatments, etc., to the veterans. So we'll have to just buckle up and see. And I'm not gonna go on vacation and go to Africa for the next 7 months while I'm getting paid a good salary to be able to live well. I'm gonna stick to my job, because it took me, it was like God opening doors for me. Maybe COVID-19 was the way for me to come in, so I'm just gonna buckle up and take the ride and see if they want to get rid of me, how they're gonna do it. If not, how I can still grow and retire from this job. Now, I don't know if I do want to go to the length of retiring, because I am tired, guys. I am so tired. I want to take another year. I have a maximum of 2 years break that I can take from the school district, and I already took 1 year, so they owe me one more. So I am up for another break. I returned back to work in the school district in 2019. So I've been working since 2019, and now we're in 2025. And it's not that the school's job is stressful. In fact, it has gotten so much better since I returned. I've been through 6 years of bliss compared to my first era in the school district. The returning back was a bliss. I mean, I don't want to take off a year and then come back and it goes right back to the beginning. But this one has been a blessing this time around the circle. But I'm like, yeah, I would like to take a year off and see. And anyway, we just have to see. I like school. I like to study. I don't mind studying. I have one role model right now who's studying, and I wish I could be in that shoe. She works for the state, and she's a great role model for me. I wish I had a bigger sister like that, but I don't have any older sisters. I mean, sort of foster siblings, from Haiti, but they're not career people like that, where school is so encouraged throughout life, like lifetime learning like that. So that's my role model to know, okay, I can do this if I can take this year off. But nonetheless, I'm not going to take the 7 months off. It would be consecutive those next 7 consecutive months if I were to do that. And anyways, in my job and it says here, it depends on your department when you can go. So I might say, okay, I want to resign, take this program, but I'm going to work for the next 7 months. So it's not like I'm going to be free for the next 7 months. So I guess it's people who really want to leave the federal employment, but I don't really want to leave. If I could take a year off, I would, because I'm tired. But it would have to be like the school system, because in the school system you can take off a year and you don't lose anything. except for your salary for the year, but you could just take a year without pay of leave, and then you come back and resume your position. So me, I would love to do that, to study, to travel, and things like that. But anyways, this is the Trump letter. I'm not threatened by it so much. I heard he literally removed people from office, but the letter giving you the option is because I guess he realized that how much can you do to remove somebody's salary. I get it, it's taxpayers' money, and he's trying to cut back on funding unnecessary activities so that there is always profit in every productivity. But when you think of it, those of us who are employed by the government, we are not like Elon Musk, where we get lucky, where that we would even have brothers to build businesses for us to be able to get offers like that. If I had brothers and sisters who worked with me like that, I would have been a millionaire just like Elon Musk, because I had the capacity within me. But it's just, for me, it wasn't easy for me to do it alone. And for me, my lot in life was to do everything alone. Everything that I did in life, I did it alone. And if you see that I'm successful at something, it's because I did it alone. I never was given the opportunity by society, by community, to be able to do anything in a group, okay? I was removed from that possibility of group support when I left Haiti. When I was removed from Haiti, I no longer had group support coming into the United States. The family that I was raised with, the people don't respect me. I came from a family where I was youngest in Haiti, and into the family where I was oldest. And the culture of age that was promoted in Haiti was beautiful to be oldest, and it was also beautiful to be any age, actually, because of that. But the culture here was really downgrading the human and never really allowing you to grow and mature, and to the point where it's like your existence is a sacrifice for those who are younger. So I was never allowed to really grow in that manner. Had I been given that opportunity, it would have been awesome. So I'm not like Elon Musk, where I was younger in a family and had older brothers and sisters to push me and to build with me, to help me with my ideas to grow, so I don't have that kind of luck in life. I am fortunate that in school, in public school, by the way, which they are trying to eliminate, which I work for the state for, in a public school. Thank God for public school, because people like me who are not fortunate enough, even if I had parents, if it was somebody to pay for my schooling, it wouldn't have happened. I would have been a little restavek, a little slave in somebody's house. I would not have achieved the career potentials that I achieved at hardship here, because I would not have had the support. So, I thank God for the way that the American government has been, in the way that it supported those who are trying to be something in their lives, and whose cultures or households where they came from were hindering it. Because despite all the hindrances that I have had, people taking my ideas and actually becoming very successful with my ideas and never giving me credit, it's almost like their success is by defaming me, still the U.S. government, the government jobs were always there as a way for me to survive. So how could I have survived if I had to depend on people to be kind to me? I am not the kind of person that people are kind to. How could I have survived if there were no government jobs? I would have been employed, and I would have been barely making it, at minimum jobs. Because why? And it's not even being negative, it's only seeing your lot. You know how hard you worked. I was a straight A student, full scholarship student, all of that. But when it comes to bread, it's a different thing, because all of a sudden people start measuring how much salary you're supposed to make, what you are worth. All right, so when it comes to what Elon Musk went through, I mean, Elon Musk came from apartheid South Africa, for crying out loud, and he's a white person, and from not even he's a dark-skinned person who broke all odds and was able to self-make it. I mean, he had 100% support behind him, and I am very saddened that this is a person who didn't have to struggle at all in his life, and these are the people who are making decisions for American citizens. For American citizens that they are making decisions for. And I think it's very, very saddened that we do not have anybody saying anything about it. I'm not saying there's any problem with Elon Musk, coming in and being given opportunities. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that these are the kind of mentality that I see coming into the government. And I voted for this government because it was like I was damned if I did and I was damned if I didn't, But I didn't see this type of sell-off Trump. I didn't believe Trump could be a sell-off like that. I really took Trump as a possible All-American. Now, he's not All-American, but I like his resilience. I like the fact that he was able to defy everything that came against him. He was able to fight against all of the myths that came about with COVID and stand strong. I like that kind of Trump, and he was stubborn. Nobody liked him. He reminded me of me. But this type of Trump that is now president, it seems like he's more of a sell-off, resignated type of person right now more than the last Trump. The last Trump stood alone in the most cases, and this Trump, unfortunately, it seems like people have read him while he was in office and read how to buy him out. So this is what I feel. Am I afraid if they were to come and ask me to leave? No, I would not have been afraid. I wouldn't be afraid because I had about 20 years of experience. I've had 20 years of experience, more than 20 years of experience teaching. When I get to be of age to retire, I should be able to survive barely, but I can be able to survive. And I'm a frugal person. I save for tomorrow. The only thing is, if they do certain things with money that we like, bank monies, and if they change those policies, then this is where it's going to become very worrisome, because I did not have a silver spoon in my mouth like Elon Musk, and I thank God for what I was afforded in the government. So a lot of the things that they're saying or that they're coming with against government workers, I do not agree with, because government workers may be those people who have the talent and the skills but were deprived in the private market because of not being so fortunate when it comes to society welcoming us, all right, to be able to have clients and to provide with our clients for our clients to be satisfied. It's just is like that. It doesn't mean that you are not productive and you're not well. It's just that they're like, why should we give it to you when we can give it to our buddy here? And that's just the way it is. But anyway, I was gonna go back and talk about more streamlined and flexible workforce. So let's see what he says about that. He says, while a few agencies and even branches of the military are likely to see increases in the size of their workforce, the majority of federal agencies are likely to be downsized through restructurings, realignments, and reductions in workforce. These actions are likely to include the use of furloughs and the reclassification to at will status for a substantial number of federal employees. So again, these are like privatized ideas that they are coming in to use with the federal employees. They're completely trying to eliminate the whole idea of humanitarianism, of socialism, of opportunity for the underprivileged. Forget about all of this. I mean, this wording is like being eliminated in these senses, It does sound more like a private type of thing than it is of a more government type of opportunity. So I mean, yeah, you may want to eliminate socialism, but those who have those who don't have opportunities elsewhere. And one might wonder, okay, if you had all this opportunity, why didn't you grow? Well, maybe it was like, as I was saying, it's not that easy to grow socially. It doesn't mean that you're not productive. You're being productive, and you're grateful. I'm grateful every year for the kids that were endowed with, placed in my hands to teach every single year since 2001. I've been teaching, and I thank God for those kids and for the government for entrusting me with these children, because if I was in a Haitian community, I would be scorned, for not having any, for not being of class. But the U.S. government put me of class. Okay, so in that sense, anyway, they're talking about downsizing. So I guess it's in order to try to eliminate the taxes. I don't know. Me, I had to pay a whole bunch of taxes working. So I know I work hard, and I work my butt off, and I get tired, and my body gets exhausted. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. And I do pay a lot of taxes. So now they don't even mention taxes in here. They're just talking about this is like a pure business, a private agency. So now they talk about performance culture. And I'm reviewing the peers, guys. I said I'm going to review them in order that mattered most to me first. So the performance culture involved the federal workforce should be comprised of the best America has to offer. And that's the question. What is the best America has to offer? That's where it starts becoming subjective, where you start realizing that it's becoming a buddy-buddy situation, because instead of letting the best work, you are now selecting, reselecting. All right. And I remember, for example, when I first graduated college, how I was really kicked out of New York workforce, not because I wasn't among the best, but because they were using anything like the name of the schools that I came from, and it was just so weird how people with less of academic record than I were able to make it without so much selectivity. And me, I was never given that opportunity. So this wording here about being the best, I mean, I think we have the best. And I think it was my position. I was selected, it was very rigorous of my selection. And I'm proud of it, and I'm glad for it, because God opens the doors when man closes it. So it says, we will insist on excellence at every level. Our performance standards will be updated to reward and promote those that exceed expectations and address in a fair and open way those who do not meet the high standards which the taxpayers, this is where they mention the taxpayers, which the taxpayers of this country have a right to demand. So again, this is where it becomes questionable, because where do you, who's gonna make that judgment of what is best, from what we already have here as a workforce of federal employees. I am very proud to be able to tell everybody that I am a federal employee of the United States of America. I was once in the military. Yes, I get it. I sort of defuncted from the military, but I had my very good reasons, and they gave me honorable discharge. Okay? And I went in there with high standards from high school. I was on my full scholarship and everything, and I left with honorable discharge. So I think, and I'm now a federal employee after changing careers. Yes, I would like to study more. I really know that I need to further my academics, because I attack academics the non-traditional way. I mean, the traditional way is you go in, you get your XYZ degrees. But for me, I don't do it that way because I think that's a waste of my personal time when I'm working, not to gain for my own skills, but to be able to provide others information that will be of no use to my growth. So I like to study on my terms, where I know that I need to grow, where I want to grow, that's where I grow at. You know, what I want to learn, that's where I learn. You know, what, like when you're curious about some kind of disease, like there are so many things that I'm curious about. Of course, you just have to find the right program, because most programs have so many things that they require before you get in there, you know. And I have been, of course, paying for it on my own. So, you know, I am very honored that when in my youth, you know, everything was paid for me for my education. I don't mind paying for my education now, but of course, it's finding the right program that teaches you the right thing. I'm more of a hands-on person. I like hands-on studies, etc. So I don't find myself to be that kind of mediocre type of worker, you know, that they are suggesting that, because they said something about like government employees have a lack of productivity, so as if private employees have better productivity, whereas for private employees, I think it's more biased as far as what is excellent versus with the public employees, you know, as far as excellence is concerned. And I feel as if as a public employee, I have more of room to grow. It's like I know where my growth needs to be, is that I need to be able to manage my job, my time as an educator and as a laboratorian, to be able to include the component of education, you know, so that I will feel fulfilled in the part. And it's so interesting because I'm supposed to be able to do that, teaching it, right? But no, because I don't have enough time within my day to be able to really process the knowledge so that I can say that I have incorporated it. And also I want to be able to move forward in the lab, because for me it has become redundant, you know, just following certain protocols, you know, to do lab tests to find out whether patients are well or not, reporting to doctors. I want something deeper than what I'm doing right now, for sure. I want something deeper, but I also have a requirement, I think, of 5 years of full-time in the lab before I can qualify for certain things that I really want. And I'm arriving at 3 years this year, so I would have 2 years left. So I'm a little bit over 2 years that I have left to get my 5-year requirement, so I can decide what avenue I can go. But so I feel as if I'm stuck, because I don't want to just get up and leave such a great opportunity, okay, and experiences that I'm getting, because the school has also redesigned my curriculum that I teach, so that you know, I have to sort of feel more comfortable and in my productivity in both. So I'm not saying that, you know, I am at my optimum in trying to juggle the two, but I do appreciate the opportunity, that because it is an opportunity that may be similar, this one that I got back in 2022, similar to what Elon Musk got, okay? The only thing is, Elon Musk probably still had his brothers to go back to and ask questions. I don't really have that. So this is where I stand as far as President Trump's directives are concerned. I understand the urgency to have everybody return back to the office, but it's also suggesting a lot of things. And the deferred letter that he wrote for us on January 28, 2025 says, deferred resignation letter, so that we're so lazy that we can't write our own letters. It says, please accept this letter as my formal resignation from employment with my employing agency, effective September 30th, 2025. I understand that I have the right to accelerate, but not extend. Accelerate, make it shorter, but not longer. My resignation date if I wish to take advantage of the deferred resignation program. I also understand that I am or become that if I am or become eligible for early or normal retirement before my resignation date, that I retain the right to elect early or normal retirement once eligible at any point prior to my resignation date. Given my impending resignation, I understand I will be exempt from any return to office. Again, that emphasizes there are people who are working at home. I will be exempt from any return to office requirements pursuant to recent directives, and that I will maintain my current compensation and retain all existing benefits, including but not limited to retirement accruals until my final resignation. So again, this is not for me. The urgency is not for me, but the generalization that we are all lazy is something else. It's something else. But this is where it is. This is the letter that everybody has been talking about, that they received, and everybody is concerned, for the federal employees. But it doesn't seem to be as harsh to all federal employees until, I guess we won't find out until September 30th, when, to see if it was just really a means of getting everybody who was working at home to return back to the office, or if there was something deeper that extended to us who are working and the quality of our jobs. Because my question is, suppose he says this and everybody decides, of course that won't happen. Oh, I'm gonna resign because I can go back to school. But then again, it does say you can't just say, okay, because today is the last day. I can't just go to the office and say I'm resigning, and that means I don't have to come to work. No, I have to continue work until they tell me. So that means that I might have to continue work until September. So this is the whole point. But even so, even if everybody decides, okay, I'm gonna do it, right? And come September 30th, who are they going to put in our positions? The federal employees are highly qualified, highly experienced, because it takes the feds a long time. Yes, there's a high turnaround. Mind you, there's a high turnaround. A lot of people come and quit. In my job, so many people have come and quit. But guys, I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I've been teaching forever. If I didn't quit on my first few years of teaching teenagers in America, it's gonna be very hard to quit anything, unless my body becomes so sick of the two jobs, or I find something that totally like me. I thought I was never gonna quit when I worked at Jackson around here. I thought I was never gonna quit until somebody came and offered me a federal job, and I was like, bye Jackson. And the money at Jackson was better, but I still quit, right? Because I thought I was never gonna quit. And I guess this is the same thing. Maybe if something so remarkable, I can't think what more remarkable thing can come my way for me to say that I'm gonna quit my job in 2025. But I'm not, you never say never, because you don't know what God has in store. But nonetheless, this is it. I'm not afraid, because I'm prepared for anything in life. I'm prepared for anything. I know my lot. But I'm glad that during my youth, some of the things that may seem to be impending were not the situation in my youth, that I was actually able to have the opportunities that America had to offer as far as public school. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, thank you, Jesus, for public school. Because do you know that if they had private school, if they had only private school, and for you to have an opportunity, do you know that there are times that even when you try, that they can just remove that opportunity from you, even when you try. So I thank God for what there was in America, what America was during the time of my youth. All right. Anyway, this was the letter. Here's the letter, okay, that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, there were several of them sent. There was a colorful one, but I don't know. I left it in my car. And here, and it's in, if you guys want to see the letter, you go to the opm.org or opm.gov webpage, and they will have everything. This is Q&A. There was another one that explained the 4 pillars in further details. So thanks for spending the time with me, thinking through it. All right, it's not all black and white like that. You don't just get up and get paid for whatever. It depends on your department. I don't know what department will do it, and I'm like, unless they I don't know. I think it's a joke in a way, but I think it's more for the people who are working from home, not those who are working in the office and who's been working their butt off. I think it's for those who are working from home, and that's the best way he could get them to come back into the office. Thanks again for watching Claudine 10 Against Colorism. See you another day. Bye.